Welcome. My name is Lynn and I have my glasses on today. I normally wear my contacts, but my eyes were not accepting them today. So I look a little different than I usually do, I'm here. It's Saturday and I'm connected to our yoga teachers in training, and I'm here to offer you the Radiant Warrior Flow. And every week I usually put some kind of theme around it, and within the practice, I put together different ways to transition between the poses, maybe to adapt them or modify them, or simply to apply a theme to the basic poses that we learn in the teacher training. Today, I have put together a practice that is going to focus on the bandhas. And if you don't know what those are energy locks in our system. And there's ways in which we can engage them in the poses that we do, which is my invitation to you to put a mindful practice together about engaging our bandhas, our root, our navel, and our throat, and see how this feels within your poses that we do regularly in all of our classes. And usually my playlist accompanies the theme, and today I didn't put together a playlist. So we're going to do this class with no music, because every once in a while I like to throw in that opportunity to really focus your intention and on your own practice without the distraction or accompaniment of music. So today, our breath is going to be our music. So what we're going to do is just come into a comfortable seat to arrive, and welcome to those of you who are just joining us. If you do have blocks available, or something that looks like blocks, soup cans, whatever they are, please go grab them, because these, I'm a huge proponent of using props in class to accentuate your alignment. And even with flexibility, sometimes using the blocks can shift the way in which you're accessing the pose. And so as teachers or as students, I highly encourage the use of props. It's not doing less yoga, it's doing perhaps better aligned yoga. So just come into a comfortable seat, and we're going to start just briefly describing what the three bandhas are. Your Mula Bandha is your root lock, and the way in which you engage that is to squeeze up from your rectum, your sexual organs, squeezing up towards your pelvis, and that is engaging your root lock. That's Mula Bandha. The Uddiyana Bandha is your navel lock, and this is drawing up and in towards your diaphragm. So if you engage in do Kundalini yoga, you access the navel lock a lot with breath of fire, pumping the navel in and up towards the diaphragm. That's the Uddiyana Bandha. And the Jaladhanahara Bandha is the throat lock. And it's known as the gateway to the highest center. And your throat lock, we're going to do a breath practice to just breathe as we engage the bandhas for our warm up. The throat lock really puts a focus on the alignment of your head. And so if you sit, I'm just going to turn. If you sit and you reach your chin forward, you see how my shoulders start to round? If I draw my shoulders back and bring my chin in, it might feel a little awkward at first, but that's perfect alignment with your head sitting right on top of your spine. And you'll notice if you start to tuck the chin in, you're going to feel something in your throat. So if you stick your chin out and then bring it in, you're going to feel a little bit more of a lock. It's locked in, your throat lock. So let's just come into a comfortable seat. Whatever that is for you. You could be on your knees, your legs can be straight, it can be an easy pose, and just begin to breathe. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable, or just gaze down at the floor. Just take a moment to allow all the thoughts. They're swirling, they're swimming, they're floating by. They're trying to get your attention. And you could just say, okay, I hear you, I see you, I acknowledge you, but I'm in my body focusing on my breath right now. Then maybe your exhales, a few deep sighs. Just keep breathing till you start to feel connected to your mat, to the space, to yourself, and to this moment. We're going to take a few deep breaths, starting with filling our belly with air. And as we do, we're going to draw the root lock up and in, bringing the breath up towards our ribs as we draw our navel up and in, bringing it up to the chest. And when we get to the throat, we're just going to pretend like we're sipping through a straw. And then exhale. Breathing in through your nose, root lock, navel lock, throat lock, and exhale. Doing a few more breaths that way. And each time you engage the root lock, pulling up and in, keep that engaged as you engage the navel lock, drawing the navel in towards the spine and up towards the diaphragm. And then as you sip through your straw, creating a long, luscious spine. Keep breathing. Offering the sensation for you to feel as we engage each one of these locks so you can connect to it as we go through the practice. And one more deep breath. And exhale, beginning to move around the midline of your body, engaging the root lock as you inhale forward and you exhale back into your Sufi grind. And here I like to engage the root lock and then the navel lock. Inhaling forward and exhaling back, making the circles as big or as small as feels good in your body right now. And I always imagine I'm going around the inside of a hula hoop with this movement. And then changing direction. The Sufi grind is swirling that energy, churning the energy up from the root lock all the way up to the higher chakras. And coming to stillness, inhaling all the way up, exhaling, release your right hand to the left knee and coming into a seated twist. And here you continue to keep the root lock engaged, the navel lock, you're turning from the center of your chest. Relax your shoulders down, and with your breath, we're releasing more into the stretch on the exhale. So you inhale and release, exhale, and try to access a little bit more of the twist. Inhale and exhale. Lifting the crown of your head one more time. Exhale and release to the other side with your breath. Inhale and exhale into the twist. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And releasing back to the front, we're going to come into our tabletop position. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, pressing into the base of your fingers, right at the bottom of each finger. And I slightly lift my wrist so I can feel where that pressure is in my hand. And then I keep that engagement onto the mat. So here we're going to engage the navel lock, the Uddiyana Bandha, lower belly to the spine. We're going to lift our chin, our tailbone, and then exhale, lifting the mid back up to the ceiling, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. And inhale. Now this time, when you exhale, press your hands and the top of your feet down to the ground and pull your lower belly up. So the navel lock pulls up to the spine and then up towards the diaphragm. Arch the shoulders. Inhale. Hold the belly, engage the navel lock here. Exhale, feet down, pull the belly and the ribs up this time. Inhale. Exhale, pull the belly up. Coming into a neutral spine with a straight spine, we're going to lift the right arm and the left leg and release. Here you are drawing your navel into your spine. And release. The arm extends from the shoulder and the leg extends directly from the hip. Lift. And release. And we're going to hold here for a moment. Pressing into the foot on the floor. The base of your hand, not into your wrist. Draw your navel up. Push away from the floor. Your navel's up towards your spine. Lift your ribs. And release, coming to the other side, lifting up. Your head does not move. It continues to look down at the ground. Draw your navel in. Lift your ribs up. Push away from the floor. And release down. We're going to kickstand our left leg out. Extend the right leg. Your left hand is under the shoulder. And then raise the right arm up to your side plank. Pressing into the floor with the back foot. And then you can allow that other leg to float up to the ceiling. You're creating a nice, beautiful long line with your arms. Gazing up, belly into the spine, pushing away from the floor. Ribs lifting up. Bring the foot down and we're going to come up into our gate pose. Lift up. Release back. Bring your hand down towards the foot and stretch over to the side for a side bend. You may feel a little bit of a stretch here in your inner thigh. And release down into your side plank, engaging the navel into the spine. The foot comes down, the hand faces the mat. Come into your tabletop and we're going to switch sides. Kickstand the right leg out, extend the left. Your right hand comes under the shoulder as we peel the left arm up, pushing away from the floor, allowing maybe that top leg to float up. Lift the ribs, navel lock, root lock, navel lock. Release the foot down and come up to your gate pose. Your foot is down on the ground, lifting up, lifting back, then releasing your hand down and coming into a side stretch. So you feel an anchor here with your knee and you're lifting up and over your body. And then release your hand down, back into your side plank, belly into spine. Press into the foot on the floor, the top of the foot on the floor. Your leg comes down, your hand comes down. Slide your knees outside, edges of the mat, toes together, and sink back into your child's pose. And here, with your breath, Your navel is drawing up towards your spine. You could rock back into the child's pose before you release the elbows and forehead down, just feeling the hips expand. Maybe you've been doing a lot of sitting and your hips are feeling a little tight. With your breath, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, navel stays into the spine. Elbows are sinking down to the ground. And forehead down. When you're ready, reaching the hands towards the top of the mat so you can sink your chest towards the ground. Maybe your head is on a block. Now engage your Mula Bandha here, stay here, your root lock. Drawing up through the rectum, the sexual organs, pull everything in and release your chest to the floor. Just noticing how this child's pose may feel different once you engage your Mula Bandha compared to how you may have done it before. Just breathing, just noticing. And then walking the hands underneath the shoulders, slowly coming up into your tabletop position. I'm going to turn, you stay where you are. We're going to take the right hand and weave it between the left arm and the left leg. Our palm is up, and we're going to bend the left elbow as we draw the right shoulder to the ground. Trying to release the shoulder down, feeling a beautiful stretch on the outside of your shoulder. And releasing to the other side. Left hand weaves through the right. Right arm bends. And left shoulder releases down to the ground. Coming back up into your tabletop position. We're going to tuck our toes and lift our hips. Coming into our first downward facing dog. Now stay where you are. Imagining you have a block between your thighs in the downward facing dog. And if you have one and you want to see how this feels, we're just going to bend and extend our legs, our knees, coming up on the tippy toes, sinking the heels down, bending the knees, drawing the heels back and the chest to the thighs. Inhale. Exhale. Pressing into the base of your fingers, lift your hips high, hollow out your low belly. And if you have a block or an imaginary block, just imagine you're drawing the block up towards your body. So that helps engage the root lock. Inhale, bend your knees, gaze at your fingers. Exhale, lift up into your downward facing dog. Stay where you are. Holding the imaginary block. And then bending your knees and walking your feet towards your hands. You can keep that block if it's with you. Just shake your head and shoulders down with a slight bend to your knees. Slowly rise. Drawing the block up, 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 sucking it all the way up. Inhale here, palms together, hands to heart center. Exhale and release. Take a breath. Inhale, gazing, watch your thumbs. Inhale up, exhale, folding forward, drawing the block up. Coming up to a half lift. Either your hands are on the floor, on blocks, on a block, or on your shins. So you're going to draw the back of your shoulders towards the ceiling, continuing to draw the block up. Your navel lock engaged, drawing up towards your diaphragm. Exhale and release. Release the block down. Place your hands to the ground, step or jump back into your plank. Your feet are hip width apart. They give you the most stability. Come down to your knees, your belly, your chest, your chin. Draw your thighs together. Hands outside the shoulders. Take your elbows and point them towards your feet. You'll feel the chest open up. You're still gazing at the floor. You're going to inhale and peel your chest up, staying light on the hands. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. This time when you inhale up, coming into the cobra, stay where you are. You're going to press your pinky toes down into the ground. Your pubic bone presses down into the floor. Your hips down towards your heels, hollow out your low belly and draw your navel up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Inhale, come up into tabletop. Exhale into child's pose. Inhale into tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog, drawing that imaginary block up, up, up. And heel sink down, chest to thighs. Bend your knees, walk your feet to your hands. Fold forward. Half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale and release. And slowly rise. Inhale up. Follow your hands. Exhale down. Close your eyes and notice. We're going to move through the sun salutations, creating more warmth in our body. So as you stand, imagining you're drawing that block up. Mula Bandha, navel lock, inhale and lift. Gazing at your thumbs, exhale, folding forward. Continuing to draw up the energy, come up to a half lift, shoulders wrap back, the back of your shoulders go up to the ceiling. You exhale, plant your hands down, step or jump back into your plank, staying on your toes or your knees. You're going to slowly, in the count of 3, lower down to the ground. 3, 2, 1. Planting the hands, drawing the shoulders back, drawing the elbows back, peel your chest up. Hold the pelvic tilt here. Notice your pelvis. Drawing the navel in, the navel lock. Exhale down. Take a breath in and exhale, drawing all the way up into your downward facing dog. Breathing deeply. Pick up the pelvic floor. Feel your second toe press down into the ground. Lift your hips a little higher and your chest towards your thighs. Draw your lower belly into your sacrum. Bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands. Come into a half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, full fold. And slowly roll up. Shoulders first, then head, then arms rise as your gaze follows your thumbs down to heart center. Notice. Engage your root lock. Inhale up. Engage the navel lock as you exhale down. Lifting up to your half lift. Inhale. Exhale down. Plant your hands, step or jump back into your plank. Engage the navel lock, lift your ribs, tilt your pelvis, and lower down in 3, 2, 1. Shoulders back. Squeeze the mid back together, your shoulder blades squeezing together to open up your chest, smiling through your clavicle, as Jeannie says. Hands plant down and peel your chest up. Pressing those feet into the ground. Beautiful. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, just try to raise up a little bit more. Maybe you lift your hands off the ground. Exhale, head comes down, chest comes down, toes tuck. Lift up into your downward facing dog. Imagine you're drawing up from the pelvis. You're internally rotating your inner thighs, just as if you were holding the block. You want to bring the block up, 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 up. Squeeze your thighs. Heels down. Bend your knees. Walk your feet to your hands. Coming up to a half lift. A full fold. Slowly rise, shoulders before head, head before arms. When you lift your head, draw your chin in for the throat lock. Inhale up. Exhale down. Root lock, in, navel lock, in and up, chin tucked in for the throat lock. Relax your shoulders. Take a few breaths here. We'll go through one more time, and either out loud or in your head, walk through the cues that you would use in this sequence for the sun salutation. What is your focus, your breath, your alignment, your bandha? Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Coming with your hands to heart center. Just notice. Lift and lower your feet. And every time you place your foot down, feel as if you're sinking into the ground. You're connecting with the earth. You're drawing energy up and you're giving it back. We're breathing the ground beneath us. Beautiful. Roll on the inside and outside edges of your feet. Bring your feet together. Connect to your heel, the base of your big toe and the base of your pinky toe. We're going to come down into chair pose. Keeping the heels down, we're going to bring our hips back. You're going to feel your heels press down, press into the ball of your feet and the edges of your pinky toes. To activate your Mula Bandha, lift your pelvis up. We're going to take our right elbow to the left knee. You can extend the arm coming into a twist. Stay where you are. Your hands are in heart center. And when you twist, they stay at heart center. Keeping the heels back. You're going to feel a little more pressure in the right heel. Keep engaging the Mula Bandha. You may feel your right groin turn on, your right sit bone. And then inhale up, hook your thumbs, turning on the navel lock into a standing back bend. And release back down to your chair pose. Squeezing your knees and your thighs together. Bring the left elbow to the right knee. You can extend the arm instead, keeping your hands to heart center. Draw the hips back. Sit down a little bit more like you're sitting in a chair that's a little too far behind you. Notice my knees are not coming forward. The hips come back. Lift your chest. Activate the Mula Bandha, your root lock. Lift up, up, up. Press your feet into the ground. Release. Rise, navel lock, standing back bend. Notice. Turning on the navel lock. And release the arms down. Shoulder rolls here. Inhale the arms up. Exhaling to the side, your side bend, gazing up at the elbow crease. Inhale up, exhale, other side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Coming all the way up. Stretch your arms overhead to your mountain pose with your arms overhead. Your shoulders are relaxed. Engage the Mula Bandha, root lock, navel lock, throat lock. Remember the breath in the beginning. Inhale, up, 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 sip. Exhale, keep your arms where they are. Inhale again, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Sip through the straw. And release. Arms all the way down. Coming into the windmill from side to side. Little spinal rotation. Coming up on the toe, looking over your shoulder, wrapping the back of your hands around your hips, around your waist. Giving yourself a pat on the shoulder. Bring back down to the waist. And the hips. Making the movement a little bit smaller. Palms come forward and just notice. And see with your deep breath, without sipping through the straw, just engaging gently all the bandhas. Inhale the arms up, your thumbs are facing the back wall. We're going to step back with our right foot. You can have your blocks. So when you step back, your feet are hip width apart, and just imagine you're scissoring your legs as you step back. Step back, scissor in, step back, scissor in, step back. Your front knee bends over the ankle. Your back heel hold is active towards the back wall. So you straighten the front leg, lifting up, releasing the front leg and coming down. Hands could be on blocks, on the floor, or floating out to the side. So bend your knee again. Your hands are down into runner's lunge. Stay where you are. In order to keep your hips level on the same plane, you draw the left hip back. Oops. You draw the left hip back. So you're not turning to the side. You draw the left hip back. My toes are facing the front of my mat. Arms are up. Straighten the front leg and release. Your back heel draws down to the mat. Inhale up. Take your right hand outside the left knee and twist. So you're going to twist here. Now, when your bandhas are engaged, your twisting comes from the chest and not your low back. So in this twist, engage your Mula Bandha, your Uddiyana Bandha. Come into the twist. From the center of your chest, we rotate, not the low back. So notice. Coming out. No engagement of any of the bandhas. Engage, Mula, navel lock, in and up, and then rotate from the center of your chest. Notice if there's any difference. Inhale up. Exhale, release to your warrior two. Your front heel is now lined up with the arch of your back foot. Shoulders are over hips. Your pelvis rocks under your ribs. Your feet pressing into the floor, squeezing, front knee is bent over the ankle, squeezing earth up into your body, gauging the Mula Bandha, drawing everything up. Notice your chin. We're going to release by cartwheeling our hands down to the ground into our lunge. Bringing the back knee down. Hand inside the left foot. Swing the left leg around into your tabletop. Few cat cows here. Remember, when we arch up, we're rounding the shoulders, drawing in the navel lock. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Coming into your neutral spine, pressing into the base of your fingers, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog lift. Your pelvis tilts in, gazing between your knees. Notice, bend your knees, walk your feet to your hands, fold forward. Maybe you're grabbing opposite elbows and hanging down here. And slowly rise. Shoulders back, head is up. Inhale up. Hands come down. Take a breath, and we'll switch to the other side. Your feet are shoulder width apart. Inhale up. Thumbs face the back wall, stepping back left. This time, imagine scissoring the legs, step your feet together, step back, bend the right knee, together, step back. You can have your hands on your hips, together, step back and hold. Draw the right hip back so your hips are level, square to the shoulders, lift your arms up. Exhale, straighten the front leg, arms can come out to the side or down on blocks. Inhale up, taking the left hand outside the right knee. Now remember, engaging the bandhas as we twist and rotate from the chest, not the low back. Bend your knee. Look at your thumb. Release. Again, twisting from the center of your chest, stay where you are. Breathing. And lift the arms up. Inhale here. Exhale and release to your warrior two. Lining up your heel with the arch of the back foot. Shoulders over hips. Pelvis under ribs. Throat lock. Mula Bandha, navel lock, throat lock. Relax your shoulders. Gaze down your arm, past the tip of your middle finger. Bend the front knee. Holding the pose here. Press into your feet. Drawing all the energy from the earth up into your body. Extend your arms nice and long. On your next inhale, cartwheel your hands down into your lunge. Gazing up. Drop the back knee. Hand comes inside the right foot. Swing the other leg around into your tabletop. This time, we're going to bring our elbows down. From here, we're going to tuck our toes and lift our hips into dolphin pose. We're going to step our feet out wider. Lift the hips. Stay where you are. When your feet are wider, you access the pelvic floor, your inner thighs rolling back. Reach your tailbone up, pinky edges down, lower belly hollows out towards the spine. Release into your plank. You can bring the knees down. Draw the navel up into the spine, pushing away. Don't sink your chest down. Lift up, ribs up, belly up. One more time, tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Drawing up. Feet are wide. Maybe your head's down towards the ground. Inhaling here into your plank. Belly up, rib cage up, push away from the floor, knees down to the outside edges of your mat, toes together, child's pose. Notice, stay where you are. As you work on the Mula Bandha, the root lock, the Uddiyana Bandha, navel lock will come into play. Notice with your breath. Relaxing into the ground. Inversions like down dog and dolphin pose are good places to engage your bandhas. So your shoulders don't sag. You can lift your chest, engage the bandhas. Slowly lifting up, walking your hands towards your knees, coming into Thunderbolt, Hero Pose. Lots of names for it. Roll your chest, ear to shoulder. Chin into your chest. Other side. Rolling in. Let the shoulder relax. So if your ear to shoulder is on one side, the shoulder comes down on the other. Just let the hand hang. Maybe you lift your chin. Maybe you dip it down. Maybe you move in between, just giving a little massage to the side of your neck. Draw the shoulder back. Head comes up, other side. Relax the shoulder. Ear to shoulder, breathing deep. Maybe you lift the chin or down. Draw the shoulder back, let the arm hang. And release your head up. Come with your legs out in front. So we're in staff pose here with the hands outside the hips. Your legs are straight. And here's a beautiful example. You can have your hands down on the ground or on blocks. It depends on the length of your arms. I have a little bit of a challenge pressing my palms down. I get a little slumpy. So I like to put my hands on the blocks so I can sit up nice and tall and lengthen through my spine, lifting the crown of my head. So here's a really easy way to engage the Mula Bandha, lifting up. Now, if you do have blocks, you can engage the Mula Bandha and the navel lock and lift yourself up and release. You don't have to go very high. You can lift yourself up and release, engaging the bandhas. So we're going to bring our hands to our knees, our shins, or our toes. The idea of reaching forward in the seated fold is not to round your shoulders and slump through the chest, right? You want to keep your spine straight, lifting the crown of your head. hinge from the hips and come forward. You're going to lift your chest, widen the collarbones. Stay where you are. Your shoulder blades in your back slide down towards your hips as you hinge forward. Lift, open. Shoulder blades slide down your back towards your hips. Your inner heel bones push forward. Feeling a lift in your Mula Bandha here. The back of your pubic bone pulls in and up. So feel that sensation in the lower chakras, the lower part of your body. Inhale, exhale, bend the elbows. Low belly pulls in, pelvic floor lifts up. Breathe. Lean in. Draw the Mula Bandha. Open the shoulder blades. Slide them down towards your back. Exhale and release. Inhale all the way up. Come into an easy seat, into our seated twist. Now remember, when we engage the bandhas, the Mula and the Uddiyana Bandha, we're rotating from the center of our chest, hand outside the knee, tense your fingers, lifting up, drop the front shoulder, engage your bandhas, and then rotate from the center of your chest. With your breath, inhale, exhale deeper into the twist, rotating from the center of your chest. With your breath, release to the other side. And release, lay all the way down on your back, draw your knees into your chest. Inhaling, squeeze your knees in. Exhale, knees go over hips. So you're laying on your back. You're inhaling, squeezing in. Maybe you bring your chin up towards your knees. You exhale, head down, knees over hips. Inhale in. Notice how your pelvis tilts forward and back with this movement. Release your feet down to the ground. If you have a block, you can bring it between your knees. You're going to plant your feet down, reach your hands towards your heels as you lift your rib cage up to your bridge pose. Stay where you are. Your spine and your ribs are lifting. Your sacrum is floating up, your ribs drawing towards your throat. Reach, slide your fingers down towards your heels and draw the shoulders back as you lift further up into bridge pose. And slowly release down one vertebrae at a time. Stretch all the way out. Bring your hands and find your hip bones. And then bring your hands to your low belly. As your pubic bone pulls up and in, draw in the navel, in and up. Inhale, the belly lifts. Exhale, the belly drops. Inhale, the belly lifts. Exhale, the two hip bones draw in towards the center. Inhale, the belly lifts. Your pelvis tilts back. Exhale, the sacrum starts to float, the hip bones pull in. Feel your lower belly begin to get harder. Keep it there. And just breathe in and out. And release. Draw your knees into your spine, making circles with your knees in one direction and the other. Taking a few moments for any additional poses that are part of your practice. You could go back to bridge, a bound angle, a happy baby, shoulder stand, whatever that pose is. Maybe it's going right into Shavasana. Just take a moment to go into that pose that you usually do and engage your bandhas and see how that experience might be different for you. Maybe you're rocking and rolling. And when you're ready, lay all the way down on your back. You can bring a pillow or blanket underneath your knees. Maybe there's underneath, you have blocks underneath, just laying all the way down, stretching all the way out. Reach your arms overhead, point your toes, take a big good morning stretch. Just like you're waking up for the first time today. Exhale and release your arms down to your side. Maybe you circle your toes in one direction, then the other, your wrists. And then settle all the way down into Shavasana. So our bandhas help us create stability, ease, and depth in our poses and bring an awareness to our pelvis. So just take a deep breath in and out. Just breathe. Breath is music. Circle of Breath by Dana Folds. Inhale and let go. Over and over. The circle of breath brings me into this moment. The even flow of air, the act of taking in and going back. Breathing draws me inside the radiant reality of now. I can't breathe deeply and be fearful. Breathe freely and be anywhere but here. The whole of me embodied in these waves of breath. Inhale and exhale. The whole of me embodied in these waves of breath. beginning to notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Feeling your breath into your back as you inhale, expanding your belly, exhaling out, gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. Drawing your feet flat on the floor with your knees up, and then gently rocking your knees side to side. Finally rolling onto one side and just taking a moment to pause here to give thanks for whatever it is that you received in this practice today. And when you're ready, slowly rising up to a comfortable seat. Hands in heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. The light in me honors and loves the light in each and every one of you. When you are in your place of peace and love, and I am on mine, we are united as one. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much, friends. As always, we are sending all the love to all of you from every one of us here at Yoga Farm. Thank you for being part of our community.